It's finally happened. We have a seismic moment in our Build a Nation save. It's taken 15 seasons, far longer than it did with Bangor 2 years ago. But we have got a youth intake star who is immediately ready for the first team squad. We've today got a cup final that he may well feature in. But let's go and meet our new hero. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 148 of this Build a Nation story, Lifting Spirits with me, Daniel. We are moving along fast now, and for the first time, maybe too little too late, we have got a youth intake start worth meeting. We'll go and get to that in a moment, but today it is all about cup action here with Distillery. We have got ourselves just in charge of the title race after a big win against Linfield. But today we face runaway Scottish Championship leaders Kilmarnock in the SPFL Trust Trophy Final before Ballymena in the Northern Irish Cup semi. Not the ideal time to come back for two games. Obviously I would have liked a bigger one either side of Kilmarnock. But I couldn't wait any longer with the star we've brought in. So let's go and have a look firstly at our youth intake star, and then we'll go and see the schedule, which he has featured in quite heavily. So the player that we have got added in from our youth intake, in fact, I'll do it from this screen so you can see it properly, is Matthew Freeman, a right back. 2-star ability immediately, 5-star potential. And to be honest, it's made me quite glad I didn't sign Mackie in January, because now we are definitely not going to have a problem with our homegrown rules. He will replace Murphy as the backup right back next year. Matthew Freeman is excellent. He's good physically. He's only 15 years of age still. He's good physically, he's exceptional in a tackle, he's not bad going forward. Mentally, he's all right, but very brave as well. But as you can see, he's made 5 substitute appearances already, and he has very much held his own at this level. So here's someone who is going to be excellent. He's also, I may mention this, the 3rd best Northern Irish right back for the national team. So he will be featuring in squads before too long. I am so excited about this kid. I've got him tied down for a 4-year deal, which he'll sign when he turns 17. Not for over a season yet, but someone for the end of this save we can really get excited about. Joel McLaughlin is a pretty decent young keeper as well. One we'll keep an eye on, but the positioning and the composure is a bit of a worry for me. And then looking further down, we've got a few other decent ones. Christopher McKeown will be a big asset to someone in this division at some point later down the line. He's very good mentally, and he's not bad in the key technical areas. And the other one was Sean McCann, a striker, who again, good in behind, good finisher, and a decent physical touch as well. So someone who's going to help the nation, but none of them, probably other than Matthew Freeman, will really help this club. But boy, will he help the club. Let's go and have a look at the games he's featured in and the results in the last month or so, because you were with me after disappointment against Espanyol. We won 1-0 on the night, but just snuck out on aggregate. We'll see what that means for the coefficient in the end of year review. We have, though, won 6 games in a row since, 5 of them with clean sheets. So we won 3-0 away at Cliftonville in the Irish Cup quarter-final. Paul Elliott and a Jordan Howard brace in that one. We then won 5-0 away at Glenarvan. Mark Scully got a hat-trick alongside Missalidis and Houston with 1 each. A hat-trick for Duncan McKenzie against Ballymena Millard. Had scored 2 from headers and then got given the penalty. Vladimir, Griffiths and Howard got the other ones. A 2-1 victory at home to Linfield with Scully and Vladimir. A comeback win after Gavin Holmes had scored in the first half. But the big historic news here, as you can probably work out, is that we sold out a home game in the league for the first ever time. Yes, albeit 4,900 of the 7,000 strong crowd were away fans, but that does mean we had over 2,000 home fans in as well, which is a very, very big moment for us. A 7-0 win at Warren Point in front of a much smaller audience next week. It was 5 goals for Jordan Howard with 1 for Houston and Griffiths, and then a 3-0 win at Portadown. It was Damien Dunn who got the 3rd goal after Mark Scully had scored a brace. So we're just about keeping everyone fit. We're managing to get a run of games together now. And of course, the schedule really flattens out at this period. We go into the league split after that big rush of games, and we do seem to have the title race in our hands. Our run-in's pretty good as well. If we win all of our first 4 games, then Linfield away on the final day will not be that important to us because we'll be 4 points clear. But if we look at the Northern Irish Cup semi-final, it will not be Linfield in an end-of-season double-header. Coleraine against Larne is the other one, after we beat Linfield earlier in the competition. So lots of excitement at the moment after the disappointment of the European exit last time. Can Matthew Freeman be a big part of this future? We'll probably get 5 or 6 more seasons in his save, and I'd really like him to be a part of it. So we'll get through this episode today, then Linfield in the Cup final to finish the season next time. Let's get through to the fixtures though. Kilmarnock v Distillery is another chance to win a big trophy. 4 players to close down. Kilmarnock still top of the league, still flying in the Scottish Championship. They're 6 clear now. They have dropped off a little bit actually, but we are playing Kilmarnock for a trophy, and this game is an opportunity for us. We're going to make the changes, get our first team out. We've had 5 days off before. We've got 6 days off after. I know, pretty unheard of for us recently. The only big injury concern at the moment is that we've had Merivale Austin out since the last episode. Owen Kidd is coming back, but not quite there yet. So I think we're probably going to have to stick with Damien Dunn. And then it's what we do in midfield, because Damien Jude has battled back from that hip injury, but he's not as good as Bayavang. So at the moment, probably want to stick with those 2 in there. Damien Dunn will play number 10, and then I've just got to sort the bench. So we'll be back in a moment once I've done that. Well, to be fair, my squad decisions have probably been made for me, because Duncan McKenzie would be on the bench, but he's not quite fit. We've also had the troubles with Merivale, Austin and Kidd, and I've opted just to go for Jude over Griffiths on the bench with Houston. Got to have the Scottish vibe when you're playing against another Scottish team. I'm not sure why they've put Scully behind Howard. We're going to get Scully back in up front. But this is what we're going for today. Probably the only contentious decisions are that Bayavang, the January signing, stays in ahead of Jude or Houston. Dunn is coming in at number 10 with Merivale Austin out. Stow is staying at fullback. There is no Freeman in the squad today, mainly because Mackenzie's not available as well. So I don't want to be too light on experience in defensive areas. It means our 11 in full, with Vladimir coming in for Missalidis as well, by the way. It's Jim Morrison in goal, who is still better than Morgan Hassin. Reed and Stowder fullbacks with Bird and Smith as centre half. Gash and Bayavang the midfield 2 with Cowan and Vladimir out wide. Then Damien Dunn behind Mark Scully up front with a whole host of experience on the substitutes bench. Let's go and get through the kick-off against Kilmarnock. Will we be able to win the SPFL Trophy again, or am I going to lose the final, my favourite competition? Definitely the strongest side we've faced in one of these finals. Kilmarnock are a team that have got quality to match us and to beat us in areas. That's something we haven't had before in this final. So let's see if it affects us today. Through the tunnel interview we go into the first half. Kilmarnock v Distillery, a big crowd in. Let's hope that despite their recent poor form, they can turn this into a decent final. Couple of minutes gone, it's been a quiet start so far. We'll drop to balanced if we need to, or if we get found out on the back foot. At the moment, I'm fairly confident. As Stow goes back to Morrison, I might change my mind. That's dodgy. Gets away with it. Smith finds Gash. Into midfield to Damien Dunn. Through ball towards Scully is strong. He's got support on the left from Vladimir. But he's held the ball up well. Back into Damien Dunn. That's a great counter-attacking goal. Didn't take long, and we had one major scare before it. But it is 1-0 to Lisburn Distillery. And that is the start we really wanted. Well, a quiet few minutes since, but Vladimir now up with a corner, which is headed away as Bird tries to attack it at the back post. Murray deals with it well, and the clearance is long, but Vladimir is the only man there. Picks it up on the right side in his own half to Reed. Bird making his way back finds Stow, and now Bayavang. Had a quiet few weeks actually, and he's a bit of a weird one. He's got an 18 for natural fitness and a very good stamina as well. He seems to struggle with fatigue a lot more than the rest. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's playing at a higher level than before, but I don't really think that's true either. Scully heads the ball wide. It remains 1-0. But Kilmarnock not really got going so far. Maybe based on their form, we've hit them at the perfect time. As it's a free kick for Vladimir again, just 5 minutes later. Ball into the box. A penalty given out of nowhere. Scully apparently pushed. Without Merivale Austin, we have not got a good penalty taker. Scully is in goal scoring form though. Will it affect him here? Not in good goal scoring form, enough to score a penalty. It's saved by the goalkeeper. It was the perfect height. The old cliche pen just up to the keeper's left, and he tips it out. Vladimir will take the corner now. Into the back post for Smith. Can we make it count and score from the corner? No, we can't. Is that a turning point in this game? Bayavang back to Smith. Let's hope not. Gavin Reed, support on the left, but goes back to Smith again. Out wide to Cowan. Options inside. Gash finds Dunn. Good football. Cowan's down. It's another penalty. Wow, same motion of play. Penalty saved, out for a corner, headed away, back into the box. Cowan gives away or wins another penalty, sorry. And Mark Scully, this time no mistake, just chips it down the middle. Keeper dives the same way again. And Lisburn Distillery are 2-0 up. That should be, if all goes well, the trophy one. And Mark Scully gets an instant reprieve. Just 90 seconds between his pens. Well, almost half time. And the last thing we want to do is offer them a route back in. They've got a man unmarked at the back post as we've not got enough back. And it's exactly what they've aimed for. It hits the post. Morrison can't get there and Farrell taps in. 2-1 on the stroke of half time. And now we've given Kilmarnock a chance. Gavin Reeders picks up a knock. I'm now more glad I put the experience right back on the pitch. I'm not sure what the injury was, but I'm not taking a risk. Tommy Murphy will come on. We've got 45 minutes to go. Vladimir's had a poor game as well. I'm going to gamble on Misselidis. We only get 3 subs in this trophy, but I want the lads to know I'm not completely satisfied and you can't just rest on this lead. We get to the hour mark and again, Kilmarnock haven't offered a huge amount going forward, but it only takes a set piece as we saw. Stow getting the ball on the left, inside to Bayavang. He's had a solid game, but might be the third man off. As Gash finds Cowan, Scully's in there. Cowan finds him, brilliant football, and a very good save by the goalkeeper. We saw his reflexes are excellent, and he's produced an example of it there, as Damien Dunn. He's had a very good game, covering in that 10 role, puts the corner in. Smith's up, Bird's up, they can't win it. Scully brings it down, finds Dunn. Into the box he goes, chance to shoot, heavy touch, and it's cleared away. I don't know if I want to make the sub this early because you are risking finishing with 10. Smith has got a bit of fatigue, but I'm going to go for Bayavang, who again, as you can see, really struggling physically despite being one of the most naturally fit players. He gets in here, he's played really good work. He's hit the woodwork, it's cleared away. Murphy will bring it down on the right. Jude is on after his long injury. It's another Kilmarnock set piece. Don't do this to me. Headed just wide. McCann misses. It's into the side netting. But it's still not completely done. And it's always the worry. We saw it with Linfield in a League Cup final. They snuck into extra time. I could really do without the extra 30 after all these recent games. As Smith finds Jude, cutting in from the left to Gash. He has support, but goes back to Cowan. He can just surge down the right to Damien Dunn. Has options ahead of him, but instead cuts into Gash. Back to Tommy Murphy. Good possession at the moment is sensible management as Cowan finds Gash. A foul on the yellow card. Murray's gone. Second yellow. It looks so harsh. But you can never really tell from the animation engine. What it is, though, is a very good position for the free kick. Not good enough for us to see it, though. 4 minutes to go. It's a throw on the right and against 10 now. This should really be job done, but they're leaving 2 up against 2. And I'm going to drop to balanced after this highlight as Cowan cuts it back to Jordan Gash. In again. Good football from Cowan. Support from the left from Stow. Runs in and shoots. It's ballooned over the bar. How on earth have you missed that, son? To not even hit the target is pretty criminal. Oh, it's happening again, isn't it? It's stoppage time. It's a highlight for Kilmarnock. It's a throw-in. What's the keeper doing? Oh, we've got away with it. Smith clears downfield. Damien Dunn will chase, but Kilmarnock are pushing everyone forward. And against 10 men in a cup final, we're going to do it again. Bird clears the cross. Stow to Misselidis. Get me a third goal so I can relax, please. Misselidis carries it. No one's with him. Great run from him. There's 3 in the middle. 4 arriving. Goes alone and it's straight at the keeper. It's a poor back pass in the end, really. And he should have done a lot better with that and seen the game out. Cowan is in behind down the right, though. There are spaces in the defence. And Mark Scully is there to tap in. Excellent work. Finally, the game over. And we win the SPFL Trust Trophy. Dunn will take the corner as the 3 minutes are up. And we are going to hold on to it. Good to see my favourite competition stays in our hands. We made pretty hard work of that, to be honest. A lot of wasted chances. And in the end, 3-1 against 10 men. It could have been so much more. But a really good performance against the best side outside the SPL. And now we get to lift the trophy. A very good moment for this football club. A big crowd, including lots visiting from Northern Ireland. And a real opportunity for us now to really create a dynasty at this level. Start winning these trophies every single season. And it wasn't like previous years where we had a decent run, played a bottom half side. We played a team that's going to be in the SPL next year and do well. And we've beaten them comfortably. It's lifted by Lisburn Distillery. We have won the SPFL Trust Trophy against Kilmarnock. Now the attention turns to the Northern Irish Cup. Congratulations, lads. It's a good performance. Now the trophy hunt, it continues in Northern Ireland. Here we go then. It is the Irish Cup semi-final against Ballymena United for the right to play Coleraine in the final as Neil Daly helped them to victory against Larne. But now though, let's see who's fit because we have had a few bits of injury news. Firstly, Jim Morrison, the goalkeeper, picked up a knock. Tight calf for one day but might be fit to play. Maraval Austin again back to fitness, but is he fit enough? I'm not sure, and for this game, might not be worth taking a risk. Let's get through the team selection though. We've got a league game in 4 days, which is important. So while I'm not against playing people who are in our first 11, I don't want to risk ones who are injured. So Maraval Austin will sit this out. I'm also going to change the goalkeeper to Doherty. Gavin Reid is fine after coming off in the last game. I'm contemplating the ones with a heavy match load. So Misselidis will come on for Vladimir. Bayavang will come out for Damien Jude, who needs fitness anyway. The rest of the team, though, will stay the same. Luke Smith is going to stay in, but Mackenzie will return to the bench, so if we need to, we can bring him on. This means our 11 for today is Doherty in goal. He comes in to replace the injured Morrison. We've also brought in Jude in midfield for Bayavang and Misselidis on the left-hand side to replace Vladimir, who's on the bench. Let's go and get through to the game today. 3 changes made, 1 of them enforced. Hopefully, no change to the result, though. They have got some familiar names. Robert Burns played for us for a number of years. We've also got to look at Steve who was one of the first 18-year-olds we tried to sign to become homegrown in the nation. He is now playing for Ballymena. So let's go and get through the first half. If we carry on, we will get the result. But I've said should a few times before and not delivered. Today, I'm fully expecting to, as Damien Dunn gets it to Reid. Can we get an early goal to settle the nerves as Reid storms over halfway? Big switch to Misselidis, who wins the header, but Scully can't get there, and our former player Burns does. Long ball forward only finds Luke Smith, who I'm hoping will be in a position to rest at the hour mark. Reid over halfway yet again. Another poor ball which Burns intercepts. This time Smith heads away. Finds Jordan Gash. There's 3 in support. Over the top to Cowan and Dunn. Just over hit. And Hughes will deal with that well. Not the most flowing football so far. 3 or 4 poor through balls. But we will find one eventually, and you can see there are gaps in that defence. There's Misselidis down the left. Chance to cross. Scully's up. All 6 for 8 of him. And you know what? That's a cracking header. Right into the corner, off the underside of the bar. You're not beating a 6 for 8 man in the air, and you're not doing anything about that as a goalkeeper. A great goal, a 1-0 lead. And it should be job done if we get another quickly. Well, first injury knock of the day is a bruised thigh for Jordan Gash, but I'm not going to worry about bruises because they shouldn't get worse. But we can rest him a bit later on, we will. Here is Gash with a big switch to Misselidis. Can he provide another great cross? Cuts back on his right and he does just that. Cowan's up at the back post, hits the woodwork. Kerr able to get it away with the assistance of Harrison. But the pressure straight back on. They can't get out their half. And as we've mentioned now, when we're playing those bottom half teams in this division, albeit this is a cup game, we have got a real dominance against them. It's why you're seeing 5, 6s and 7s a lot. As Luke Smith continues to add the physical dominance. Having a big team is a very good decision here because it makes us such a threat from the dead ball situation. As Jude picks the ball up in the holding role to Dunn. He cuts it back to Bird on the yellow card. Be careful of that. As Jude finds Dunn again. Wide to Misselidis. And support from Stout. Can we make this a very big win? Here comes Damien Jude to Bird. Into midfield for Gash. 3 up in there. Misselidis makes the run. It's brilliant football. Not the best goalkeeping if we're being honest, but a very comfortable win this is going to be. Another Irish Cup final on the way. A clean sweep for the first time at the domestic trophies. Could that possibly happen? Now we've got the League Cup, maybe we can do anything. As Harrison heads the ball away to McDonald. Ballymena again. Everyone's back in their own half. They're really struggling. Misselidis has dealt with that very well. Carries the ball into the opposition half. Finds Gash under no pressure. Great ball for Cowan. Saw that before anyone did. And Stephen Cowan makes the run, knowing what's coming. It's another goal for him, 20 for the season. And you can see Ballymena are just sinking here. 4-0, it could end up being 7 or 8. And it's just how early we bring the subs on, although Bird's made an awful mistake. And Doherty forced into a good save to his left. Half time, it will be 4-0 here. And I think I will now take off Jordan Gash at a break. Same for Luke Smith as well. We'll just give people a rest. As Smith, out to Reid on the right. Can we make it 5 in the first half? Into stoppage time, and we're still dominating. As Cowan down the right, does he turn assist provider? Not with a cross like that. McDonald brings the ball away, but he's got 4 players swarming around him, and the pass is poor, which Reed intercepts. Smith comes over halfway to Jude. Good football again. Big switch to the right. We're so dominant out wide, but Cowan's ball through is poor. It's back to the goalkeeper. That clearance is awful. Reed gets there, finds Damien Jude. Chance to shoot on the edge of the box, goes alone. Burns is there again. He's trying his best against his former club, in fairness, but the rest of the team can't compete. Here comes Jordan Gash. Into the box he goes. Loads in the middle. Dunn's one of them. It's 5 on a stroke of half time. I mean, it's lovely to watch and it's great to get to the final in this way. I think you're seeing now why I don't bother to show you these types of games anymore, because while it's great to watch us beating teams up, it's not particularly useful in terms of learning anything, is it? Let's go and make a couple of those subs then. Gash had a knock, so Houston will come on. We'll also bring on Mackenzie for Smith, get him the rest for the weekend. And this could be a long episode because we are getting a lot of highlights in this game. Ashley Doherty has the ball in goal. Had a good appearance so far. Nice for him to play a few games. He's a lot younger than Murphy and it does help the club, bringing down the average age. As Reed carries the ball forward, supporting midfield. How many times has he just carried the ball for yards and yards without pressure? Misselidis gets it on the left. Through ball is poor. And Ballymena deal with it, but the clearance again is shocking. Cowan finds Houston the sub. Through ball, not the best, but Reed will nick it. Steve Ear's working hard back there. Big ball downfield. It's flicked on by Cunningham, but Mackenzie's there. Jew loses it to Burns, though, who has been their one-star performer today. You can see he's a Distillery player at heart. McDonald crosses. Cunningham in. Great football. There you go. Ballymena United get one right at the start of the half. And Robert Burns was the man winning the ball and setting them on their way. We're going straight from the kickoff again. Just want to check. It is key highlights, isn't it? We've watched the whole half so far. Gavin Reed down the right to Cowan. Have we made them angry? They've scored a goal and now the Distillery players straight on the front foot with Cowan again. Big ball to Misselidis up at the back post. Hughes makes the save. It's 5-1. Will we finally get to breathe? No, we're carrying on. We're going to see Hughes clear downfield. What on earth is going on here? We're just watching the whole game. Damien Jude finds Stowell. Back to Mackenzie. Carries it over halfway. No pressure on him to Houston. And it's up to Scully. He has support inside. Goes for a little dink finish himself. Lovely technique. Over the bar. Now please, can we have a breather? And as we approach the hour mark, we are back with Ballymena in defence. And normally it's just an aimless pump forward, which is headed away. But Burns is in again. And Steve has got a threat out on this left-hand side. He beats Reed with ease. He carries it down the line. He's got the chance to cross, but the ball back is poor. And Cowan finds Damien Jude into midfield for Dunn. Big ball over the top for Scully. Should score from here. He's one-on-one. He's gone to the keeper. It's a good save. It's cleared away downfield. Ballymena get away with one there. We're going to make a few more subs as well while we're here. We're going to go for Damien Dunn off at the hour mark for Bayavang. And we're going to bring off David Bird, who's struggling a bit, for Kyle Carr. We'll put Stow in at centre-half, which will be no biggie for this game. And in the final sub, we can rest Cowan on the right for Paul Elliott, another one who's not really had any time off the field. Well, it couldn't be all plain sailing, could it? Into 3 minutes of stoppage time, we get a warning that Misselidis has pulled his groin. I take him off, and we finish the game with 10. A 5-1 win, a very quiet half an hour after the subs, and we're into the Irish Cup final. We've just got to get the job done in the league now, and that will be the focus in 2 days' time. The finale of this season, as the prize money's going up again. Finally, Misselidis hasn't got a bad injury. It's going to be as follows. We have got Linfield on the final day of the league season. Might be a title decider, but I hope it will be wrapped up the game before. And then Coleraine for the domestic clean sweep. It could be the first one in our history. If you enjoyed this episode, an SPFL Trust Trophy win, and a first youth intake start at this football club, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know in the comments what you think of him and how much he can contribute for the rest of this save. If you want to stay up to date and find out the answer, subscribe and turn that notification bell on. All the key links and playlists up in the eye above, and anything you can't find there in the description. But thank you for watching as always. A big moment in this save. Can we finally produce a few of our own homegrown players? Because that would be the holy grail to finish.